In this episode of Tesla series, we're taking a look at this fully integrated instrument cluster display for Tesla Model 3 and Model Y. This display features Apple Carplay and comes with a sleek Tesla-like UI. This product was sent to us for free of charge by TMA, Tesla Motor Accessory, but they are not paying us to make this video. It is our honest opinion about the product and everything that we showcase in the channel. They have a large inventory of Tesla accessories, so please do check them out. And if you want to use discount code Shiva Tesla during checkout, you should be able to save significant amount of money, and in return we might get a small commission from the sale. Thank you very much. Let's get started. All right, let's go over the content of this package. Of course, you have got your instrument cluster here. This is that main screen, and this looks a lot better than the previous versions that we have seen. Much higher quality. Even though this is probably plastic, it has that wood finish over here. Wow, this is really nice. A lot nicer looking than what we have seen in the past. And the USB is right here, embedded right here. That means we don't have to take out this wire and then stick the USB port out. It is right here for software updates. So really nice design here. And this one, I was impressed. This looks very nice. If you look at it, it's just very well integrated aesthetically, and this looks like a high-end screen, like a high-end dash. So this is really nice that it matches more of that Model S and X Ascent. Of course, you got a wiring here. We'll talk about that in just a second. This is that metal trim panel to connect it. By the way, this is metal, and then this one is that central trim panel that connects both of them together. So this is also metal. It's a very heavy metal, so it's not going to be bouncing around. They also send you the screws, and these clips, if you look at it, these clips are for the cars with AMD chips that are built in 2019. So your Model 3s or Model Y built in 2019 still have that clip, versus the newer ones just have the Velcro over here. So that sticks on the newer one, but for 2019, you still have this, and of course, all the screws that you need. Then let's talk about the wiring here. So the wiring contains just a basic, there's the data port. This is the blue plug that we're going to connect in the front. Then you've got wires that are hanging out over here. This, the black one is your ground. We can find a ground pin in the bottom door panel, and this one is your power. This is the power extension. We're going to connect this here and take this all the way to the front 12-volt battery. I'm a little bummed they decided to do this 12-volt battery design. They should have probably connected this somewhere in the front. There's plenty of spaces. Even in the rear, they could have connected that, but they decided to go with the battery itself, which is not the most efficient way of doing things. There is a 12-volt output right next to this plug on the side. We have used that in the past, but we'll do this today and we'll show you how that looks like. They also have a control unit here where you plug this controller that is coming in from the side door panel, the OBD plug. You're going to plug it in here. Then you're also going to be plugging in this unit that comes from the actual instrument cluster, and plug this into this control unit as well. And that is about it. That is the whole installation process. Let's go ahead and install this unit. Right, so for the installation of this unit, the full unit over here, this is super easy. It follows a typical procedure like the previous units that we have seen, where they made a few changes. This is heavy duty metal, so is this. So there is not going to be creaking or anything. That was the intention here, but let's see how it does. But you just align it kind of like this, then you align this with the screws, and you put this in the very middle over here. So it just goes in the middle, and then you put this, you align it, and then you put it right here in the middle as well. So this is how it's going to look like. Yes, there is a slight color difference here. I don't know why they didn't pay attention to that, but from that angle, I mean, it looks very complete. Even though you can see the joint, this looks like a unique feature over here. So it doesn't look as ugly as in the past. We have made comments about, I don't know why they don't send this as a one full unit. We got the answer because it costs too much to ship a long unit. They wanted to divide it in two pieces so that the shipping cost is a little bit lower. So let's go ahead and put the screws in. There is just this 4, 5, 6 screws here, and then 4 screws for this piece. So and they send you all the screws over here. So we're just going to put the screws, starting with this one over here, and then we're going to make our way around and put all the screws. All right, so we install all the screws over here. Looks like 4, 6, 7, 8, 10 screws total, and this is what it looks like now. It looks really nice. Now, if you have a 2021 Model 3, as you see, This has got Velcro, but yours probably just has a pin. So check your dash, and if you have pins like this everywhere, then all you have to do is remove this screws, so 2 screws, install this from here on the top, and that's it. That's all you have to do is remove this and then install this on the top, so all throughout all the Velcros. Since there is a lot to show in this display and we didn't want it to make this video too long, we're keeping the installation to a high level. We're linking a recent video of an instrument cluster display in the description, as well as a playlist of a lot of instrument cluster displays that show exactly the same wire routing process and install in much great detail. How this works is very straightforward. You take a pry tool and you pry this side panel out, and this is exactly the same step for any Model 3 or Y that you have. Then we're also going to be removing this side door panel by, again, using the pry tool. It just pops out like that. Ours is probably loose because, as I said, so many times, but yours might be a little tight. Just use a pry tool like this. Then go ahead and do that exact same process on the other side. Now, this dash is free to be removed, but if you have a Model 3 or Y that was built in Austin recently or a Shanghai, you might have another screw here, a Torx screw somewhere over here. So take a look at it and then see if you find any screws here. If you do, then remove that Torx screw. I'm not talking about this Torx screw. There has to be one attached to this dash over here, kind of hidden right here. Take a look at that screw and then remove that. If you don't have that, on older cars you don't, Fremont built, I haven't seen one. And then what you do is you simply then pop this out. And another reason how you can find that screw is also if you try to push this and it's just stubborn, it wouldn't go out, then you have something in here. For me, as I have removed this so many times, this is super loose. As you see, it just pops out. Yours might do the same, or you might require a little bit of force to remove it, and this is it. So as you see, there is some pins that this is connected to, just pins over here. Now we need to safely put this aside, and let's go ahead and remove the rest of the panels for this install. And I want to remove the bottom door panel for the AMD cars, and to do that you just have to remove this plastic screw. It is in a bit of an awkward position, but you can use a pry tool and that screw comes out. Then you can just reach underneath that panel and pull it up, and there are no more screws. It should just come right out. All right, so next for the wiring on this, you're going to take this plug that looks like the OVD plug, and you are just going to need the male plug. And all we are going to do is, if you look at that blue plug over there, you're just going to align this and plug it in. And that's all for the OBD side of things. You can leave this as is. You don't need this female port. You can terminate it using maybe the electrical tape, so you don't even have to worry about it. It doesn't plug into anything. Or you can leave it open for another mod in the future. But if you look at the other end of this, there is this positive lead, which is yellow, and then there is this ground, which is black. So for the ground, we can connect into any of the metal piece in the car, metal screws like this. There are some screws in there. We can connect the negative, the ground, to any of that. Now for the positive is you have got this long cable. This needs to go to the front, and we're going to connect it to the 12 volt or 16 volt battery, whatever you got. We're going to be connecting that to the front battery, and we're going to pass this through the firewall over here and get to the front. Now, I don't like that design. I don't want to have to pass through the firewalls because I know very well that this is a 12 volt output over here. So I have already asked TMA to come up with a plug that looks like this, which is a 12 volt bypass. So you just plug this 12 volt here, the female, and then it does the bypass, and you don't need to route it, or you don't have to connect the ground. You don't have to do any of that work. That one plug will do the job. So I've already asked TMA to implement that design for future. This is the first unit they ever sold, so they send it to me to do the install and review to see what the product looks like. But I already told them I don't like the power, so they are going to make something like this. Now, I tried, I tried on my own to make this work, and it didn't. So I think they're gonna have to do some magic to rewire some of this plug to make that work. But I did try it in case, I could show you guys how to make your own in case you get this product from a different vendor and the same wiring came. But mine didn't work, so I'm still working with TMA to see what went wrong there. But I'm going to show you how to route this wire. We have done a lot of videos in the past showing you that, but basically we are going to go to the firewall. From there are plenty of cables passing through the firewalls, and we are going to connect this thing to the front battery, and this part goes to the front battery. The front over here, after you remove the HVAC panel, it just pops out, nothing fancy. We're going to be passing the cable through that spot over there. If you look at it, we have a camera cable already passing through there. You're going to make a little hole right here on that plug, put a routing cable, fishing cable, and then it will reach on the other side underneath that glove box area. So you can pass that cable, and I'm just going to show you very briefly here. I'm not going to do this as a permanent install. I'm testing it out still, but basically what you would do is route that cable, pass it through here. You can also remove this filter by just removing this screw here, and then there's another screw over there, or pass the cable through here. And then our goal is to reach this area. So right here is the positive terminal for a Model Y. If you have a Model 3, your positive terminal is going to be still kind of by the battery side, but for Model Y, your positive terminal is here, and we're just going to insert it. If you look at it, they don't have a cap for that battery lid over here. So let me show you what I ended up doing. Right, TMA absolutely gotta fix this mess, or at least send us the right flange knot that goes here. So if you can see, this is not the recommended way. Please do not do this. I'm advising you, please do not do this. I just want to show you that how I got this to test. I'm just going to test this unit until they send me the right appropriate power. But look, if I got, this is 5/16, and this is too small. I got a 3/8, too big. So somewhere between 3/8 and 5/16 is your thing. I did the 1/4 inch flange knot. This is what you want, but it was too small. So they gotta send the right flange knot to put it in here. They gotta fix that. But let me show you how I decided to test it, to show you what the unit does. So in case you wanted to make a decision, and then they are going to figure out a better way to route this. So right here, I'm going to take this positive terminal. Right now, I'm just testing it. So I'm putting it from our side. But when I am driving around showing you what this looks like, I'm just going to pass this through here, through the firewall there, and then put it inside. But if we look at it, what we ended up doing is getting the negative from this here, and then putting the positive through there. And then the plug that comes from the OBD connection just plugs here on this control box, and then this is the plug that comes from the screen. So this is going to the screen, this is going to the OBD plug over here. So this is just going to the screen, and look at that. So it is working. So let's go ahead and install this a little bit more permanently so all of this mess is gone, and then we'll go on a ride. I'll show you all the functionality and what this does and what this does not do. We brought this one in, and we just have to align it over here, and then we are ready to put this out. Probably pull the steering wheel out a little bit so that you got a little bit more room to work with over here. Now we can just slide this in as such, and we just have to push this in. Looks like this went in pretty well. Just have to go around and put this in. Just make sure that the metal cable didn't come in the way, so look from that way and make sure it is the cable is in the very middle, and we are good to go. So this is what the screen looks like from this angle over here. If you look at it, this is so well integrated within the dash. It looks like it came with the car, and if somebody didn't know that the Model 3 or Y didn't have a front dash, they would think that Tesla sent this with the car. This is amazing, probably the most integrated display that actually matches. It's high quality. It's not like that plastic, cheap plastic we saw on the previous version. This is super integrated display, and even the detail, the quality over there that they put in, this is amazing, super high quality. And this also matches the dash, the wood dash, and it has such nice quality everywhere if you look at it from the back. It's a one continuous dash. So one thing they also did it really nicely is they left some air vents over here so you can still get the air coming this way. But another design changes that they have here is it is more of that the air is flowing from this vent and it is coming up top. That's why I still feel the air, and we'll show you with the paper test here in just a second how much air that we are seeing. But This is an amazing design and it matches the interior of the Tesla, but they also left some of the air vents here. And if we look at it from the top, it has all of that. There's still the air vents over here as well. This is what it looks like from the front. All right, let's go over all the menu items over here, show you what this display offers. So on the left side, you see your range, your battery percentage. I really like that they have this battery indicator icon over there. It shows the time, it shows the date, it shows all the menu items in the bottom. And then, so we'll go over all those menu items here. On the top are all of your indicators. So the parking brake, the seat belt. If we were to put the blinkers, it pops up right here. So it got all of that. If we put the high beam light, that pops up on the left. If we open the door, it shows up there. And we haven't closed it well, so there you go. So it opens and closes. It shows all of that information. Towards the right, you see Carplay. We'll talk about that here in just a second. Shows the speedometer on the right side here. It shows kilometer per hour. This is really miles. It shows the miles in numbers, which matches Tesla, but the unit shows kilometer per hour. There's an apparent bug. I already told them to fix that. And then there's the gears here. So parking, all of that. Like we can go back. We can do neutral. We can do drive. That's everything that this menu offers on these two sides here. Now on the bottom is where things get interesting. So right here is just the main menu over here. This one is just shows what the Bluetooth needs to be used for CarPlay. This is your full-on CarPlay here, so we can use Waze, everything, and I'll show you how to connect to that here in just a second. And then the final item over here is your settings. So you got Model 3, you can change the color of your car, or you can do Model Y, Model 3, you can do all of that here, customize it. On the very top of the menu is basics, so your time, screen brightness, you can sync with the car, so whatever brightness you're setting. And then connection, this is the C-Link. It just shows the README to check the connection. Mini program, I have no idea what this means. And version, of course, this is your current software version. So that's everything that this offers. Now, on the basis, there is this setting called Setup All Fun. And what that means is they are planning on releasing some new hardware in the future that has ambient light capability, that has fragment capability, things like that that you can directly control from this screen. It is not available today. They did not give me a timeline on when that might be available or if they are ever going to release that. But this is almost like when you get a software update on your Tesla and there's an indication that there's going to be more features that are going to be coming in the future. That is exactly what this is Setup All Fun. And because we don't have any of that today, we don't have to toggle that. As soon as we toggle that, a whole bunch of other menus pop up. So let me give you a little bit of preview of what that menu looks like. So if we toggle that, the screen is going to go offline. It's just going to turn off. And when it turns on, we will see a whole bunch of new menu items that pop up on the screen. So let's look at that. And also, by the way, that startup animation shows every single time. It's a cool animation. I hope that we can turn that off or at least customize it in the future. So if you look at it, we went from just having a couple of menu items here in the middle to a whole bunch of menu items now on the middle. So there's the car icon here. There's a little thing called 360 over here, almost like a 360 camera, and it looks like a 360 cam over here, but that's apparently for the ambient light. So if we press on this second menu item that pop up, now there's ambient light. You can change the brightness, you can change the color of the ambient light. So there's that menu over here. If we go to mode, it shows the RGB mode, single, gradient. It shows all of that, the lamp, the direction, how long we want the lamp to be turned on, and settings, again, hazard light, open door, sync with the light. There's a lot of things, even they put instructions over here. So that's all for the ambient light over there. Now, this is the fragment system. So fragment system is probably little bars that they are going to come up with in the future where it goes on the air vents, and what it is going to do is allow you to use the scent in the car. So it has different fragments mode over here, strong, startup working, intervals, how much you want that to be sprayed or open the vent. It has a lot of this information over here, and I'm really excited. Hopefully they do come up with this system so that you can keep your car smelling fresh and be able to control it using an electronic controller like this rather than just leaving that fragrance system there. So I don't know, right? Like they did not give me any timeline. They didn't even want to talk about what this was or how this was going to be affected. So just keep that in mind that it might be coming in the future, but I don't know today like what that means or what it does or any of that. But that is there, kind of built in there. So if we go back to basis and turn this off, the screen is going to turn off, and then when it turns on, we are going to see just the basic menu without any of those extra third-party stuff. So now let's talk about CarPlay. So if you look at it over here, it says CarPlay, but this is grayed out because we haven't connected to any Bluetooth cars, iPhones yet. And it says right here, link phone. Now site for iPhone is the one that we need to connect. Right now it is disconnected. So let's go back over here. Let's go to our Bluetooth setting, and right here it says now site for phone. So we are going to be pressing on that, and it will allow us to pair. So pair right here, and then it will just allow that. And then after a little while, it will tell us to use CarPlay. Because this supports CarPlay, the phone is going to automatically detect that this has a CarPlay support. So use CarPlay over here. And now that's it. Now the CarPlay is going to be connected on this device. So if we go back to that, it already went back to this screen. And from this phone, we are connected over here, and the CarPlay is working. So let's test the CarPlay to see how it performs on the road. But right now it is green because CarPlay, of course, is connected. And if we want to exit out of this menu, just press here, and then you get the menus in the bottom. Now site connected, disconnected, that's the Bluetooth. You can still access the settings, but here is CarPlay, super easy. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that because this only has a black background currently, there is a little bit of glare, but it's not that bad. They used really bright colors, so it doesn't look as bad, and I can still see it very, very clearly even on a broad daylight over here. But there is going to be some glare just because it is only black, and I asked them to fix that, to put a lighter background as an option here so that it's not as glary as it looks right now. But again, it's not that bad. Actually, I'm really impressed with this system, how it looks and integrates fully. Even though it only has a black background, they use really, really bright font and colors, and I can clearly see when I am making the turn signal. As you see, these are huge. So let us do an autopilot test over here. So I'm going to turn on the autopilot. As you see, the autopilot sign popped up right here, which is really neat. So here is the Apple Map. We have got the map connected with CarPlay. Now, if we put in an address, as you see, it is updating real time. Boom. Super responsive, works really, really well. If I end the route, that ends it over there as well. Now, if we go back to Waze, again, super responsive. We can go back to Waze here. We can put this address, and it's good to go. If I stop, that one stops as well. So as you see, it is pretty interactive, and it's gonna be as good as your phone. And we're actually using an older phone. We're using an iPhone 7 Plus for this, and doing a pretty good job, being very active. I can't see any lags over here. It looks really nice and exactly follows what a CarPlay is supposed to be doing. And one of the big benefits of having a CarPlay on a system like this is for us to be able to use something like Waze that Tesla doesn't natively offer on their system. And while driving, looks like you can still use the touch screen, which I would advise you don't, but I'm just showing you that you can if you need to go between different menu. And even with CarPlay over here, you can still use other services, and you can still see the turn signal. You can still see everything that you need to see on this screen here. The range, the speed, again, Don't pay attention to that kilometer per hour speed. It is matching the miles per hour. I have told them to fix that bug already. So when you get this, if you want to check it out, it should be fixed by the time you get it. So really, really nice system. As you can see, going back to Waze, still performing really well, and it's still giving us all the alerts, showing us the road. It's updating real time, no lag. Now let's not follow Waze and see how quickly it updates. So it's passing the street, trying to figure out where we're going, and then it updated. So super quickly, actually very impressive. All right, so I've got my state-of-the-art airflow testing here that we have used in many videos to get a gauge of how much air do we get. So of course right now everything is off, so the air conditioning is off. You're not seeing anything come up here. So now what we're going to do is blast our AC. So let's put it in 10 and let's start seeing that. So as you can see, there's quite a bit of airflow, and this is directly hitting my face over here. So if I'm driving, if I blast my AC, I'll be able to feel a lot of air that's directly coming to my face. And of course, as we get closer, more air, as you can see. So even right here, that's where it would block the must AC on other displays. This is not doing that, especially over here. And as I told you, there's the airflow. You can feel it, the air coming from here. So it's coming from here and it's going over here. So you can feel a lot of air over here because of the design that they made, where it doesn't block as much airflow going here. So even though there's a screen here, and of course you don't feel very much air here, but they are deflecting the air through here and kind of matching that with the Model S and X, where you feel the airflow right here, and especially up top, very strong right here. So as you see, you still feel that airflow. Now we turned it on to speed 4. So this is just the fan is speed 4 here, and it over here you might see a little bit more, but it's not coming as much, and even over here you don't see as much. So it's not the display, it's just that the air is low. And as we increase this to 5, 6, you start feeling the air, and you see that it is coming through. And as we get closer, there's more air over here. So depending on what airspeed that you put, if you're going through extreme heat, your airspeed is probably going to be 10 anyway. So you'll get a lot. You'll get a lot of air directly in your face. All right, so we showed you how to do the installation, took you out on a ride, showed you the driver's perspective of what we see about this display, covered all the functionality and features. After all of this, here's my verdict. Let's start with my likes, and then we'll move on to my dislikes as always. First of all, I think this is the most integrated display we ever had in the channel. Ever, right? We have reviewed a lot of instrument clusters in the channel, and for me to say that this is the most integrated, I truly believe it, because look at it. It just fits within the car. It is not a rectangle over here, a tablet, another display over here. It is none of that. This is the most integrated because it aesthetically fits inside the car. And this one for sure, when we look at it, it has that wood finish over here that matches the Tesla. It has got some of the silver trim over here. This metal piece, this plastic, but it has that metal feel with the vents built in on top that really aesthetically, if you didn't know that this didn't come with a Model 3 or Y, you would think that this was what Tesla sent with this cars, and it matches the Model S and X refresh, that front console. So really nice design, super integrated. I give them 5 out of 5 star for coming up with such a brilliant design that actually matches the Tesla's interior and fits within the Tesla. Now they also have really nice user interface, and all the graphics, they are HD graphics. Doesn't match Tesla's quite yet. Some of that battery sign, I think they could do a better job at making those look a little bit better. But overall, it's very, very nice UI, and autopilot sign that pops up, it looks exactly like Tesla's. Some of the user interface elements inside, it looks like Tesla's, and most importantly, the features that they added, such as Apple Carplay. amazing. CarPlay works seamlessly. As soon as you walk into the car, the CarPlay is ready to go. It just takes a second, and you don't have to do anything about it. You connect to Bluetooth, set it, forget it. So it does an amazing job of all of those features. There are no apparent bugs other than the two things that we found. One of them is not really a bug, but they do just have that black background. We have asked TMA already to fix that, and they're working on that so that we can have different lighter background maybe during the day and then have the darker background during the nighttime. Right now, it just has that black background day or nighttime. Another thing we asked them is to fix that kilometer per hour unit. Just the unit error, the number actually shows the correct number. So there is those two things that I noticed. Other than that, everything works seamlessly. The turn signals, the door indicator, the autopilot, they did a fantastic job at making sure all of those features work. So I'm really impressed with what this display can do. The settings, very minimalist Tesla-like settings where you can toggle between different things. So really amazing job on this display. The airflow, there is a little bit of an airflow blockage, but at the same time, I was able to still feel the airflow going to my face because of the design that they have, where the air is coming from here and it's almost going up top. The curved design that they made over here makes a huge difference for that. And they still left the air vent here as well as here. So you're still getting the air vent and you're still getting the air, but it does reduce some of the airflow going to your face. There's no denying about that. You're not going to get the same amount of airflow that you're getting on your face, but I still could feel it. We are in the middle of summer over here, so I could still feel it and be comfortable while riding. Let's talk about some of my dislikes of this display. First of all, there are two bugs that I told you earlier, and I hope that TMA fixes that soon. They say they are working on it already. Absolutely figure out how to do better power management so that that battery connection, we don't have to make that battery connection in the front. It should be on the side door panel. So I hope that they make it working, and they're confident. They already told me that once customers start purchasing this, they are going to send a better unit. So they're working on it. Rest assured, they're going to send you a better system. At the very least, they need to send you that washer and that nut, the flange nut that goes on the battery so that you can easily connect that. But they said that they are working on even a simpler solution with the side door panel, so that should work. Another thing is that complete piece of the dash. Even though this looks really nice and they sent a really nice joining piece, it would have been really great if it came as one whole unit, so we didn't have to make that connection, because even though it looks great, you can still see the seam, the joint seam in the middle. And of course, the biggest feature missing on this is Android Auto. They only have CarPlay. I'm really sorry for all the Android users. I wish there was a solution, and I asked them and they have no plans on making this work, but hopefully they listen to it, the comments and feedback that we leave them here, and hopefully they figure it out how to incorporate Android Auto. But right now, only CarPlay, no Android Auto, so that's a bummer. Another dislike of this product is that it cannot be controlled using the steering wheel buttons. So you are just stuck with the touch screen, and that's not very ideal while you're driving. So hopefully they figure out a way to integrate the steering wheel button so it can control this display, but so far, no luck. And finally, this only works on the cars with AMD chips. So for those of you like our Model 3 where it is an Intel chip, this system does not work. All right, so enough of me talking about this display. I'm really interested in knowing your feedback. What do you all think? Would you get it for your Tesla Model 3 or Model Y? What are the features that you like about this display? What are the things that you do not like about this display? And what would you like TMA to focus on future releases so that the display becomes better and it aligns with your needs on a Tesla Model 3 or Model Y? Thank you very much for your continued support to the channel. Please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, keep sharing our videos. We're growing every day. I am super grateful for all the support we have received in the channel. We have so many different Tesla accessories on the way, so please stay tuned for all of those, and please come back again soon for another Tesla video.